Hello, welcome to All India Bakchod, episode 20.
Hello.
One.
Okay.
It's been a while.
I'm not going down the same path which we do every time.
Yeah. Kafi gali mili is baar bhi.
Of course.
To be fair though, we've not been fucking around for the last 2 months.
No, we haven't.
Lots of cool things happened. After like a year and a half of putting out this content for free, gigging for a fuck ton of people, putting in our own cash, we finally got a sponsor on board to get us to go to 6 different cities for a national tour.
Yeah, that was great fun.
Yeah, so we are doing the Cadbury Bonville. I like how beginning of the podcast only we started pimping all our shit.
No, I think we've gone beyond subtlety. So it's okay.
No, but it's
a big deal for us.
It's a big deal for us because it's finally paying off. Literally the last 1.5 years is now paying off on the comedy circuit for us.
Yeah, and all of you guys must remember how in every episode at the end, whenever we used to pimp t-shirts, we used to say, guys, we're making no money. Yeah. So finally, we are happy to say that
we are making some money.
And with the sponsor on board, and that's a great change. So it's good fun.
The sponsor we're talking about is Cadbury Bonville. We're doing 6-city tour with them. We've already finished 2 cities.
Yes.
They come to Hyderabad on Wednesday, the 18th. Of September, after which we're coming to Delhi and Bombay subsequently. You can go check out tickets on Book My Show or just follow us on Twitter and Facebook. You'll know.
Yeah, you'll know all about the details. That's
one
great
more
fun.
thing that we've been doing apart from this is something that you guys I think might be interested in. We're doing a YouTube sketch show, something that outside of I think the Viral Fever, nobody else really produces sketches for young people in India. So this is a huge step for us because we've always wanted to experiment with sketch. We've always wanted to do the kind of sketches we want to, but television never gave us the option to.
Yeah.
Now we have YouTube and me, Rohan, Ashish and Khamba, I've been producing some sketches. So go on YouTube, look for All India Bakchods, go to our channel, check out our shit and subscribe, motherfuckers. If you subscribe, if our numbers are up, even if you hate our shit, just subscribe and put your notifications off. Because the more numbers we have, the more chances that people will give us money to make more shit.
Yeah, it's actually been very interesting personally for me because we are so used to doing live comedy. And when you do live comedy, you write with the point of view of live and playing around with the audience and fucking around. And it's super confident because you know your shit. We've been doing live for a long time.
Yeah.
Podcast also, it's us and we do our shit and we talk. Yeah. So this was really cool because it's a totally new grammar.
Yeah.
Like to write sketch and then produce it. First, it feels damn cool that damn it, you wrote it and it's coming together.
Yeah.
Or, you finally feel if it's not coming together. And you're like, fuck, this is not
shit.
Yeah.
And the thing with live is that if you do a joke and it didn't work, that feeling stays there for a second.
Because you address it.
Yeah, you address it then and there and it goes away.
Yeah.
When you do a sketch and it tanks, it stays for life.
Yeah,
like people comment and you see that comment every day for a week. It's been quite sad that way.
It's been fun. No, a lot of people, at least I don't know if this has happened to you, Tanmay. A lot of people said, we prefer your blogs and we prefer the podcast and the sketch is not as good as the other one. And in my head, I'm like, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
As long as you're watching, it's a new way for us to explore our shit.
Yeah.
And it's a thing that we are learning, so hopefully we'll get better, but come and watch.
You guys want a fucking AIB movie or no? This is all training for that bastard.
Yeah, this is all training.
When the AIB movie comes out, you better go fucking watch that
You
shit.
know how the AIB movie is going to happen. We're going to be like, guys, we have no sponsor.
So can you please fund us?
Fund this film.
Kickstarter पे खोल देंगे एक change.org पे 2 petition चलाएंगे.
Yeah, it'll basically that.
But it's I actually really like the fact that the fans contribute. Literally the fans contribute so much. It's been a year since we've been doing live gigs and we've not had one non-sold out show.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous how much, guys, तुम्हारा प्यार जो है ना, मतलब आप रुलाओगे क्या? It's basically that.
It's true, but seriously, thank you for listening. Today we have a very special guest, Khamba. We have a Bollywood director.
Yes.
The only one who continues to make good movies.
Yes. Anurag Kashyap is on this episode. Now here's the thing, right? Anurag is one of those directors who is like super accessible everywhere. He's not like other people who live in like ivory towers and stuff like that. Like he will answer your questions on Twitter. He was passion for cinema. He pretty much, used to write blog posts all the time. He understands what a Reddit AMA is, and pretty much his work. Because people think of him as his, as their own.
Yeah.
Like he's like the bastion for, yes, this guy understands me.
Yeah.
A lot of his stuff has been bisected and dissected, and thousands of questions have been asked. So we try to keep it as free-flowing as possible. I personally feel it's really nice because it felt like a genuine conversation, and we spoke about a wide range of things, right from like his political opinions, what he feels about the country, funny fan stories, this and that. So I really enjoyed this conversation. I think it was a good conversation.
It was fun. How did this come about? Anurag follows us on Twitter, and in short, swag.
Yeah. Speaking of which, just check out the interview. I hope interview is a weird word for it. Check out the conversation, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Or if you can hold it, that'll be even better.
Okay. I'll blow it. I actually swing both ways.
Yeah. Welcome to All India Bakchod. Khamba. Today we have a very special guest.
Yes.
He's a very upcoming director. I don't know if you've seen any of his stuff.
indie वगैरह में होता
Yeah,
रहता है,
sometimes.
Apparently the French really like him. Apparently.
No, I'm a blockbuster on Twitter.
Achha, that's true.
You know, often we get guests on AIB who we like to give a break to, so put them on the mainstream map.
नहीं ऐसी बात नहीं है. देखो अब क्या हो गया है कि जब तुम सब कल्चर में होते हो ना, like our podcast is celebrating a sub culture. Now नई फिल्म आने वाली है, in October. तो रिलीज वगैरह है. So now people are trying, even big directors are trying to see कि how can we use the subculture to promote our films.
Correct.
So that is what is happening now.
Which is why we've given this budding young, wet behind the ears director. What's your name, sir? I forgot your name, sir.
Anurag Kashyap.
Anurag Kashyap. Correct. नाम सुना है sir.
अभिनव का भाई ना.
हाँ, correct.
अभिनव का भाई कल्कि का husband.
अच्छा हाँ, yes, that's true. चलो, always nice if you break gender stereotypes. You know,
Yes,
it's
always good.
हाँ.
That's true.
In fact, if we record with Kalki, we should say the other way around. Say, yeah, we heard about you. Anurag's wife, no, like it should be.
How's it going?
It's going fine.
How are you enjoying the? I was entering the office. There are now 4 people outside the office, 2 people right outside the door. So the newfound money is going well with you, Anurag.
Yeah, they've taken all of it.
How has newfound money changed day-to-day life? Like, has cigarette brand improved?
No, newfound money, what it has done is, I got to see the inside of the service tax office. And I got to see I might get to see the inside of other tax offices. So it is a kind of a problem. I saw places I've never seen before.
That is like if people, because I was going through the AMA you did on Reddit, and a lot of people are asking when you're doing 100 crore film, when you're doing 100 crore film.
I did one on YouTube.
100 crore ka Kyutiapa, we saw that. In fact, that's a discussion that we always have. Like whenever we see tweets of you tweeting about Bombay Velvet, etc., with Ranbir, Anushka and Anurag in the same sentence, and we're shooting in Sri Lanka, blah, 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 blah. My biggest thing is how weird must Anurag feel on set कि यहाँ पे एक्टर लोग को पानी वगैरह मिल रहा है यार सेट पे. Like पहली बार जिंदगी में everyone's getting paid properly, everyone's getting employed. It must be a weird feeling.
ये गलतफहमी है आपकी. यहाँ पे गलतफहमी है. हम सबको उसी तरह से टॉर्चर करते हैं. हम कोई भेदभाव नहीं करते. अब वो चाहे रणबीर हो चाहे अनुष्का हो, कि सबको वैसे ही टॉर्चर करते हैं.
How has it been different? Hasn't been different now? Okay, this is now cliche question territory we're entering.
Yeah.
But now that you're quote unquote successful director who is not just cult is I think a better word.
No, I don't think I'm still successful director.
अभी बनना बाकी है.
अभी बनना बाकी है.
If Bombay Velvet tanks, you don't know how much shit he will get.
See, अगर Bombay Velvet भी cult film बन के रह गई, तो फिर पता नहीं क्या होगा.
लेकिन नवाज के साथ बन सकती है ऐसी हिट, तो रणबीर के साथ क्यों नहीं? I think.
Speaking of Bombay Velvet, but actually, I read Mumbai Fables, based on which apparently the film is based on. No, how did you actually just come across something like that?
नहीं वो Mumbai Fables किताब बाद में आई है.
हाँ.
वो ज्ञान प्रकाश and me we started working simultaneously. आइडिया था कि किताब और फिल्म साथ में आए. किताब थोड़ा पहले आ गई, फिल्म रह गई, तो फिल्म आने में 2-3 साल और लग जाएंगे.
But this is something that I discuss with a lot of my film friends, that you know how abroad there's separate category for adapted screenplay from literature. Why do we in India, we have so much literature which we never use in our movies? There's a lot of stuff in books which can be adapted, but for some reason we are only adapting Chetan Bhagat shit.
नहीं, बट हमारी इकलौती फिल्म इंडस्ट्री है जहाँ पे अगर आप देखो तो अगर आप पढ़े लिखे नहीं होते तो आप फिल्म में आते हो.
That's true. The general perception is also that.
बहुत सालों से आ रहा है मतलब आप हमारी जो सक्सेस स्टोरीज क्या है ये स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट है स्टार बन गया ये स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट है ये डायरेक्टर बन गया
Yeah.
सो वो है हमारे जितने स्कूल ड्रॉप आउट हमारे बिजनेस में है वो किसी और बिजनेस में नहीं है अगर आप देखें तो
It gets such a bad rep. Like I told my dad that I want to be a writer now. Writer's fine, but the second I told him that I'm trying to write a movie, this next day onwards, as soon as I used to leave my house, he used to think I'm either going to a whore or I'm going to do drugs. I don't know why is it that the perception is that bad.
But that has been always there, no? Historically, that cinema is for like quote unquote loose people or loose.
इंडिया में यहाँ
हाँ,
इंडिया में
India
बट वो परसेप्शन आज भी वो मिनिस्ट्री भी वैसे ही सोचती है हमारे बारे में
Yeah.
तभी वो सीरियसली लेते नहीं है हमारी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री जो है हम लोग जो बोलते हैं ना आफ्टर टोबैको इंडस्ट्री इज द मोस्ट टैक्स्ड इंडस्ट्री बिकॉज उनको लगता है ये लोग तो हराम का कमाते हैं ले लो थोड़ा
वो भी उन्होंने मुकेश और फिल्म को आजकल कंबाइन कर दिया लाइक एक पिक्चर में यू कैन गो वन विदाउट द अदर
Yeah. But I was talking on Twitter just before saying that we're going to meet him, etc., etc. So some of the questions that came in were very interesting. Okay, the first, my favorite question is, who is his dealer? Was number one on the list. Who is his dealer? Was the first question. The second question was कि इस पिक्चर में कितनी गाली होने वाली है. Like I feel like Anurag's thing has gone from like during No Smoking Time it was like who the fuck knows what this guy is up to, and from there it's gone like हर पिक्चर में गाली होती है. We actually recently made a video also. You saw that.
Yeah.
How are you appreciating this newfound thing of yours?
नई फिल्म बहुत डिसअपॉइंटिंग है उसमें एक भी गाली नहीं है
एक भी गाली नहीं है.
एक भी गाली नहीं है
बिल्कुल नहीं. मतलब थोड़ा मतलब
जरा भी नहीं है
माँ बहन
कॉर्पोरेट कॉमेडी टाइप हो गया कॉर्पोरेट शो
ये क्या होता है ना कि जब आप अपने आप को बेचना चालू करते हो तो बेचते हुए कंडीशन में ना कॉन्ट्रैक्ट साइन होता है कि हम आपको खरीद रहे हैं आपको हम मतलब फॉकलैंड रोड से उठा करके एक 5-स्टार होटल का के स्कॉट बना रहे हैं तो उसके भी कंडीशंस ही होते हैं कि आप फिर वो गंदे कपड़े नहीं पहन सकते हो आपको अच्छे कपड़े पहनने पड़ेंगे और गाली देनी भी पड़ेगी तो इंग्लिश में बोल सकते हो आप जो हरामजादा नहीं बोल सकते बास्टर्ड चलेगा
But why is this? This is in general as a society it's like that. Have you noticed where especially women are all like women will cuss in English, but the second you say chutiya in Hindi, everyone's like, how can you say that? Are you crazy? You can say motherfucker, but you can't say mother chod. I don't understand why.
But do you also feel that's almost something like सोसाइटी का इतना रिप्रेशन रहा है कि तुम गाली नहीं दे सकते.
वो सोसाइटी तो हमारी रिप्रेस्ड है ही.
हाँ तो when no in the sense that almost if it comes out in a film on cinema then they almost तो लॉन्डो को वैलिडेशन मिलती है ऑलमोस्ट कि हम तो ये 10 साल से कह रहे हैं यस फाइनली लाइक दिस इज ओके.
मतलब वो बहुत फनी चीज क्या है कि जब आप जाते हो और पिक्चर देखते हो आपको रियलाइज होता है सब लोग गलत जगह हंस रहे हैं.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say कि जहाँ पे मादर चौथ बोलते हैं वहाँ पे ताली बजने लग जाती है.
ताली बजने लग जाती है.
हाँ.
तो वो
Does that annoy you?
इट अनॉयज द हेल आउट ऑफ यू. सडनली लगता है अच्छा ये मतलब ताली बज रही है सिर्फ इसके लिए बज रही है ताली और किसी चीज़ के लिए नहीं बज रही है तो वो है वो थोड़ा अनॉय करता है लेकिन फिर क्या करें.
No, but this is very interesting because this is the same conversation we have as comics sometime. कि अगर तुम
गाली दो तो स्टेज पे गाली दो तो उस पे बड़ी ताली बजती है. But it's the same like something like a grandmasti can use the same this thing, right? Like you are providing relief to the people by cussing. At the same time, something like a grandmasti does the same thing but through like a really stupid.
See, anything sexual people laugh the most.
Yeah.
Because 99% people are sexually dysfunctional.
But
that's why they laugh at it because they realize that it's so universal. You know, everybody lives with their private fear. Shit, man, I have erectile issues. But then when they go to a comic show, they realize everybody has erectile issues, so they laugh because they don't feel alone anymore.
That sounds like a hilarious gig, by the way, where the whole audience has erectile issues and a comics on stage is telling everyone about that. You on the Reddit AMA, you also said that you want to make a comedy movie called Capitalism via Socialism. Is that were you just saying that or do you actually have a
No,
thought
we've been
behind
trying to work on a script.
it? Really?
Yeah.
What does this mean though? Capitalism
No,
via
in the
socialism?
sense, I wanted to do a comedy about all those things that's going on in the country, but the opposite way.
Okay.
I want the opposite way. The antagonist would be the protagonist, and the person who should have been the protagonist is the antagonist. The good people are the villains, and the bad people are the heroes. And how do you go about doing?
But somewhat, some of those similar themes already, those grey areas, we almost sort of see. Like I'm thinking Wasipur now. It's almost similar, no?
Yeah.
In terms of.
But this is the perceived. It's largely based on perception of things. I'm saying it's about इस फॉर एग्जांपल मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि हमें जाके समझ लो एक गांव खाली करवाना है. हाँ. तो फाइंडिंग वेज टू गेटिंग a village empty. It's like how to torture the people. And you are in the room where they're discussing various ways of creating issues for people to get a village.
That sounds
vacated.
hilarious to me already.
Or who are you? Or who are the people you're trying to meet to get them out? And who are the wheelers, dealers in that entire?
And कैसे करते हो? And you're actually seeing it on screen, but you're laughing with the guys. You're laughing with the guys. You're seeing the villagers being tortured and people, things being taken away, and women being molested, but you're laughing at these guys doing those things. It's pretty much like most of our sex comedies.
I think Anurag's movies are the only movies where the dark humor is something that was more publicly acknowledged. Like I remember while watching Wasipur, like every time he shot someone, it was hilarious. Like the point where he called him Sakal and then just shot him was so funny, and I don't know why.
There's a dialogue that's cut out from the film.
What is it?
He shoots him. And he says, "Pura Sakal lag raha hai," and he shoots him, and then he shoots him twice before he shoots.
Of course, he does.
For the second bullet, he says that. और ये जो सुनील दत्त को कुत्तों से मरवाया था उसके लिए.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a reason why that was
why
cut
that
out.
got cut, obviously. All of this should be in the DVD, no?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
extras, shit that could get it.
But what happened on the last scene of Wasipur? This is something that me and Khamar discussed for hours. What happened there? Did we forget about biology, or is that how the blood? What happened to Ramadhi? Ramadhi Singh was built differently. I think
Ramadhir Singh was
T3.
Ramadhir Singh was made of blood that forgets that there's a cloth that kind of absorbs it. And it just flew out like it was gushing out. Like there's a tap that was opened. Yeah. The guy who did that and delivered it the last moment was fired from not one film but 5 films.
Really? तो मैं वही बोला था कि बॉम्बे वेल का थोड़ा बजट इसमें डाल देते थे in advance.
And it's not really always about the budget. It is about finding the wrong person, sourcing it out to the wrong person, and the person who's sitting in LA who delivers it to you when the print is coming out.
I would have loved to be on the other end of that phone call that day. खून नहीं निकल रहा है क्या है?
And you have no other option also but to go with it, huh?
Yeah, you have no other option but to go with it. But the thing, what happens after that is a whole lot of people get fired for that.
Yeah.
इसलिए कैमरा नवाज पे था ज़्यादा टाइम देखा कि 15-20 गोली बस चल रही
जितना हम लोग छुपा सकते थे उतना छुपाया.
सुना कि नवाज एक और बंदूक मांग उसके बाद तो एक और बंदूक के लिए लेके जा रहा है नीचे जा रहा है स्टेयर से.
But it's interesting you say this. So what is, again, cliche question territory. So if you are already, say for example, now you're working on Bombay Velvet, but you already have some fucking 4 different ideas on the side, thinking, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, and I'm guessing now you're at that stage where some 50 films or people must be coming up, please मेरी picture देख लो.
वो जब बाहर देखा नहीं line तूने, just like 5-6 guys just standing there.
No, you don't know if it's crew or if it's people who want to meet just for fun. But the point is that, so how do you manage now in terms of next project क्या होगा? What do I do?
अभी मैंने अपनी दुकान बंद कर दी है. I'm not doing the rounds of promotions. I'm not doing the producing job. अभी Gunit is handling or Phantom is handling. I'm only focusing on my films.
But is that a decision that came about after like
it's
almost?
It's a decision after last year, after when so many films released. And I realized 7 months I was the most visible prostitute. In the newspapers and TVs and everything.
But that's because you've almost become like the bastion for indie filmmakers. Like, did you ever think you would be at this?
I think no. I think it's gone beyond.
Now
indie.
it has.
Yeah, I was a reluctant fundamentalist.
Yeah.
No, but it's like कोई करता नहीं है. आप करो तो मतलब फिर धड़धड़ suddenly realize that इतने सारे लोग हैं सब आ रहे हैं करते. Then I had to take a back seat because there's no organized structure. I was doing one film because I felt Udaan should have been made or Amir should have been made. But then it went out of hand, so I stopped now. Now there's an organized structure being taken care of by organized people.
The first time I met Anurag was total fanboyish. I was in my car, I was driving down Yari Road. He was on the phone talking to I don't remember who. But it's a very educated guess. Okay, he was on the phone. He was, I think, at a Panwadi, and I just stopped. I was like, "Fuck, Anurag!" And my friend got down to go get some skins from the same Panwadi, and I was like, "Anurag, I know where you stay. You want me to drop you?" And he's still on the phone, and he's just confused as fuck. Like, why the fuck are 3 random dudes like? Do they recognize me? And then he got in, and he's still on the phone yelling at someone. So then we drive halfway there, then we realize we fucking forgot our friend behind. So then we drive back and our friend gets in and this guy is pissed off. Like, bencho, every time y'all fucking just drive off without me, this is frustrating. And then he looks at Anurag and he froze and nobody spoke for I think half an hour after that. We went, we drove, we sat, we parked right beside Anurag's Fiat Linea. Right? And he's just on the phone. Do you remember that story where you were calling all your friends to fund Yellow Boots?
Could be, huh?
Night. That was the night. He was calling everyone to fund Yellow Boots because apparently somebody backed out because didn't get a song or something like that. And we sat there and Anurag told us the story about how UTV gave him, or an unnamed company gave him, a Fiat Linea as the compensation for the movie that he delivered, which was DFD, right?
That was then, yes.
That was then. Are you getting paid in cash now, or is the kind still working?
Now, like last 2 films, I got paid. Last 2, including Ugly and Bomb Velvet, I got paid. Now I get paid.
Then I met Anurag again at another award function where you told us a story, which is a very funny story, about you meeting Kalki on the sets of DFD and how you and Kalki actually happened. It's a very funny story. I'm going to force Anurag to tell us that.
No, I can't tell that story.
You can tell a very censored version of that story, Anurag. Come on.
No. That's a very... तुम लोग इधर मेरे को रोस्ट करना है कि क्या कर रहे हो?
The first time I saw Anurag and Kalki, my first thought was, how did this guy get this woman? How did this happen? He must have something. I know he doesn't have the money. What does he have?
और ये सवाल बहुत लोग पूछते हैं. A lot of people think he must be having something, मतलब very strong appendage or something. What is it? But ऐसा होता है, कोई बात नहीं. It's because I'll tell you my idea of it is, I think because Kalki grew up in South India and she watched a lot of South Indian movies and I remotely look like Sharad Kumar. And even if she didn't see Sharad Kumar films, maybe she saw a lot of his posters.
Yeah.
So she must have thought I'm this South Indian superstar.
Instinct.
And that's why she fell in love with me, because she was conditioned by those.
So this has nothing to do with you as a person or your personality, you know. This is purely because you happen to look like a dude.
But this is very good because this gives all other men hope. This gives us hope.
Have you always been lucky with women? How?
I've been lucky.
Who was your first girlfriend?
Do you remember?
Yes.
What was your first relationship like? How have you changed as a person?
My first girlfriend, I married my first girlfriend.
Oh, she was your first girlfriend?
Yeah.
Awkward suddenly. now trying to think of follow-up questions very quickly in our head.
It's interesting. So you think the fame has like this is like even as comedians, like I was never good with women at all. Like I was never attracting women, but suddenly this minute amount of fame and the attention that you get, have you seen a change of women around you, how they behave?
No, my biggest problem is like right now I'm in that phase where I'm completely stripped of my sexuality. In the sense that all the women around me, they look at me like this papa bear. And it's so sad because they've completely taken my sexuality away from me. I've become this big uncle.
That's
sad.
That's very, very sad. And on a sad note, we're going to take a minute's silence for Anurag's sexuality at this point.
This happens every time. Say, for example, you go to Cannes. So there are at least 3 articles, which come out. Do you see? Is it a thing now with like other filmmakers? Do they look at you and like, kya matlab, why only like, you know how you've become the poster boy for Indian cinema there? So what is this relationship? For example, how did it happen? Like how did suddenly Cannes and just?
No, it's just that we made so many films. If you look at it, हमारा अभी मतलब ऐसा बहुत सारा हुआ था बीच में ऐसा थ्योरी था कि उसका कुछ कांटेक्ट है.
हाँ, कुछ जुगाड़
है उसका अंदर. वहाँ पे कुछ होता है. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Similarly, Lunchbox. Ritesh Batra I met. First time he was at the next to India Pavilion was Doha Pavilion. At the Doha Pavilion, he was the man at the counter. And he had ideas of stories to pitch, and he gave me a short film and he pitched a story which is not Lunchbox. I think it's not that. And then Doha turned him down. And he came all the way. And him and Guneet were old friends also. So it's like I feel that people just feel that Anurag will see what others are not seeing and we will possibly be able to make our films here. So that's how so many films get made, and they all travel individually. It's like if when I go to Cannes, I took only Ugly, and I applied for Ugly. So every director applies for his own film, and finally when the films get selected, suddenly we had 5 films. So it is not like that. It's similarly like Danish Tanovi's film. I met him in 2006. I wrote a blog about it. We have produced that film that he was trying to do in 2006. Because I read the script and I wrote a mail to him then, which was my first mail from my Gmail account. I'll talk to some people. I didn't have money. I didn't want to be a producer, but I thought I'll talk to some people because people should make that film. So it's your genuine interest in certain projects that nobody is touching is where all those films came together. I don't know how we manage it because that's Guneet's show. Guneet is the one who managed it. I tell her, Monsoon Shootout banni chahiye, banna chahiye, wo banna chahiye. Lunchbox to traveled the whole lot of festival labs and things.
It might be our entry to the Oscars as well this year. Let's talk about it.
It could be.
So that must be really gratifying, no? When you see all of these movies doing well.
Yeah, but it is also too much. I can't handle so much. It just happened that suddenly so much happened. Now I'm trying to take a back seat.
But it almost seems like that one path. Like you make a good film, then you put like 5 olive branches on it, and eventually you'll find an audience here, right? It happened with
No, it happened for me because I was often told there's no audience I have. And when the film started releasing, they would not release overseas. I was like, why won't my film not release overseas? Agar festival mein jati hai. To understand that market, I started traveling. Then I realized it's not about our films not going there because our films are not good enough. This problem is nobody wants to deal with Indians. That's the fact.
Why not?
Because Indians go with their baniya mentality. Indians go there and they only talk about kitna milega. They don't want to explore an audience. They don't want to go out there. And we started giving out our films for free in the beginning to build an audience. So you have to build that audience. And you have to also have a universal language that they should understand without having been Indian or being in India. So finding that universal language is another big thing. And people don't like to deal with Indians because Indians are only about money. Because if you realize, a lot of these festival films often run a big risk of not getting theatrical release. They sometimes release 3 years later, 2 years later. But Indians are impatient and they're insecure about piracy. Because India and Thailand are the hubs of piracy. So because of that insecurity, they want to release it simultaneously. They will not give. It's like you go to. There's a lot of South Indian filmmakers who I think should have been there, but they don't go there because the moment the print comes out, the film releases the next day. In India also, print comes out, film releases the next day. People don't like to sit on their films to explore the market. Like we made Yellow Boots and we released it 1.5 years after we made it because we explored the market. We did similarly with Vasepur. We've done that with Ugly. Ugly has been ready since when? It went to the festival. We've been sitting on it and trying to find the right release date. And it's going to release worldwide. And we are doing that with things.
Do you think piracy actually helps good content?
Like you said that you really enjoyed that you owe your career to torrents almost. You said
I owe it to my torrents because people saw my work on torrents first. Whether it's Black Friday or Panch, people saw it on torrents and pirated DVDs.
But at the same time, if you're doing something like Bombay Velvet where there's studio money and shit involved, so they are super insecure in terms of saying, in fact, your Reliance and all of these production houses have almost sought bans on releases.
Yeah, but piracy, it's a big study that was done recently. That when you ban the torrents and take out these sites that upload and download, you can download from, it actually helps a Harry Potter or a big tentpole film. But it kills the small movies.
Kids, yeah.
Because small movies people often see these movies when a friend who's a geek who recommends it to them. So those geeks who are in front of their laptops have suddenly lost access to those movies and they've stopped recommending. So the small film business is going to die out. So you'll only be attacked with superhero shit and the world is ending and this and that and all those things. Those are the only films that will reach you after a while because rest other films will die out if torrents go away.
Okay, you're not allowed to publicly laugh at this, but this reminds me of, I don't know which, it was some Tushar Kapoor film or a Vivek Oberoi film, and Reliance sought a ban on the torrent, and I'm like, isko pehle koi nahi dekh raha hai, tum iska torrent bhi ban kar rahe ho. It was some really stupid film like that.
All the movies that I like, and I watch them in a legal way. And I've seen this 90% industry that fights torrents, watches films illegally. So it's a very
slippery slope.
hypocritical.
जो DVD से छाप रहे हैं वो तो डाउनलोड किया है ना, वो खरीदा थोड़ी है.
हाँ मतलब I'm saying how does everybody, all celebrities get to watch TV shows and tweet about it the next day?
Yeah.
Coming to India.
Yeah, that's a fair
Obviously they've seen it.
Like everybody sees Breaking Bad. And
So everybody's seen it illegally. And I wait for the Blu-rays and DVDs to come out. So there's a hypocrisy there also that needs to be addressed.
Even for these shows, you are waiting to explore the audience. So you were sitting on it for 6-7 months.
No, I'm like, see, for me it's fine. Sometimes I'm dying to see a film, I'll see it. I'll see it wherever I'll see it. But I'll make sure when the DVD comes out, I buy it out of guilt. I just buy it because I'm a filmmaker. I know where the money goes, for especially the small movies. I'll not buy a superhero movie.
There is now, especially on the American comedy circuit, a lot of the comedians are doing this now, where they're recording their own specials, an hour, 90 minutes. They literally just put it out on the site and say, anybody wants to buy this, all you do is pay me like $5, you cut out the middleman, it becomes way cheaper. Do you think that, I feel like there's potential for a film
It
to
will
be sold?
happen यार. Problem यहाँ पे अलग है. Problem यहाँ पे there's no consistent streaming download. Internet एक बार consistent हो जाएगा ना. So they will find a way to make money off that also, and you'll reach your audience directly.
Like we don't have a Netflix type system here or something like that.
No, we don't.
No, we are shit scared of it. The distributors and a lot of middlemen will die out.
Oh, if that's something like that
You
happens.
have to understand a lot of changes that are not happening only because today the world is run by middlemen, na?
Yeah, that's true. Especially India, especially India.
And look at it. Who are your richest people? They're the bankers. They're the guys who take funds and all that. It's not, if you have a skill, it's as good as nothing.
Yeah.
A skill is not counted anymore.
It's almost as if. So I'm guessing if you go
If you can get somebody to cough out their hard-earned money, you're a great guy in today's world. The middleman is the boss.
So basically, Anurag and Bombay Velvet, that's the story. If Anurag got someone to cough out hard-earned money, which means Anurag is the guy. Yeah.
No, I think we established that in the
best job in
relationship.
the world is to be a pimp today.
True.
Fair enough.
It always reminds me of those women in the autos in Santa Cruz. But I'm guessing this must be something that you tell all your film students and all if you go and talk to them, that half of it is not just making the film, then half of it is almost who you convince.
No, I just tell everybody, karo to sahi pehle. Problem is not half the film students, only 1% actually end up making a film. 99% keep dreaming about it.
That's also true.
So that's a big problem is people don't like to do the hard work and everybody wants everything overnight.
Okay,
Everybody's like, if you ask people, there's a very common syndrome I've seen with filmmakers, is they'll spend 5 years trying to get one script right, but the moment they have a script done, they're impatient to get it made because they've already started dreaming of the festival and the Oscars and the box
Sir,
office.
मैंने एक script लिखा है sir, जो I think it can be made very soon, sir. It's a mistake.
Okay, just
Please, line में, आप बता रहे हैं.
just taking off of the last point you were talking about, that's why you were. So for something like Shipper Thesis, I remember this, like Varun Grover and all, also friend of ours, like he was tweeting about it like a year back or something like that.
Yeah.
And that also took about a year and a half to come out.
It took 4 years to get made.
But something like that did really well, and then of course it created controversies when it was here with the rest of the gang. But so in that case, like if a filmmakers waited for a year and a half, then they got their reward on some level.
It is, if you really want to put your film out there, you can do it. You have to take the right calls. See, you have to first understand that there is no the middleman thinks there's no market for the other kind of cinema. And middleman is the one who's dictating the market. The theatre owners ask the middleman. Everybody, the studios ask the middleman. The middleman is the one who's selling the film satellite rights. So he says, satellite right nahi bega, ye nahi bega, nobody wants to touch the film. Plus, independent filmmakers have this big issue, is they value themselves much higher than most in a realistic market. They expect the entire audience is like devoid of this great intelligent cinema that I've made, and it comes at a certain value. Why nothing happens with them is because they don't understand they need to build a market. So it's like, I made Yellow Boots, it's my indulgence. I had to do it.
Yes.
But I'll sell it at a price that it will make. So I sell it at more than 50% it costs. A ship of thesis goes out for free. You have to understand that. A lunchbox is sold at a P&A cost. You don't take money upfront. Because you are exploring the market with the distributor. So you have to have the courage to explore the market with the distributor. You have to decide you want a good release or you want money upfront. So a film will have a certain cost, say X cost. If I take 50% of the X cost as my fees for having made the film, then he will not have that 50%. He'll have only 50% left to market the film. So your film will release only that wide and will die out. So if I don't take anything upfront, and for me it's the larger cause, it's not this film pe main kitna recover karu, and this film should allow me to make my next film. If I'm thinking like that, I'll rather push them to spend all the money on the promotion and release it much wider so that the next film becomes easier to make.
This is something you learn out of your own experience?
I learned it because in the very first experience, in the sense, and that's how my films got made. The only reason why I kept making films without films releasing and probably not working on the box office is because of this. Because I realized the only way, I keep telling them, okay, I'll forfeit my fees. They immediately agreed.
Now this is the same conversation we have with, say for example, our friends who are at FTI and all of that. That if you're an indie filmmaker, automatically you are like, "Arey, all these mainstream guys, so they don't know shit. Like inko kya pata?" And like we watch Italian cinema.
I almost feel like being on the fringes, it necessarily comes with a hate for.
Yeah, they have to understand the only indie films that have made a worldwide impact and made a lot of money had something that was very accessible and popular. Be it a comedy, whether it was a Juno or a Little Miss Sunshine, or they were horrors, genre films. I need all these independent films to succeed, which is why I keep talking about them. Which is why I keep saying that I want a Lucia to succeed. Because, it will encourage more audiences to see. But if you see, a lot of independent filmmakers went silent when A Ship of Theseus came out. Because they thought that, अरे मेरी फिल्म आई थी तो क्यों नहीं इतना हल्ला हुआ, मेरी फिल्म ऐसे क्यों नहीं रिलीज हुई. So वो जो जोन में जाते हैं ना, फिर वो वहीं रह जाते हैं. Honestly speaking, they are not going to make another film because it will never become. How different are independent filmmakers from mainstream filmmakers? Mainstream filmmakers never unite. Independent filmmakers never unite. So that's the sad state of Indian cinema. People will not come together to support what is not theirs.
Do indie filmmakers now consider you mainstream, and hence if you support it, they're like, "Arey, chhod kya hai?"
Yeah. Indie filmmakers think I'm very mainstream. I'm a big whore.
Okay, so what is this concept of selling out? Okay, and so I was listening to
It's a perception. Selling out is a perception.
Like one of my favorite comics, he said that selling out is okay as long as you in your head don't feel you've sold out.
Selling out definition is very simple. I don't agree with you, I've sold out. Selling out is a very simple definition. If I don't think your film is good enough, I've sold out. And people have this very strange perception of being indie. Here.
Being indie doesn't necessarily mean you have to be poor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it's the same as if you're leftist, to kurta pajama to must.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that.
It is like that. We have very broader definitions of everything.
It's almost like I imagine two filmmakers like, अरे मेरे फिल्म में ना like 4 लोग भूखे मर गए रे. अरे वो तो कुछ भी नहीं है. मेरे पास तो कैमरा ही नहीं था. Like almost that sort of a conversation where there's like almost trying to one-upmanship each other with. Yeah, almost trying to say that, look, I struggled more as opposed to you barely struggled, man. You don't know what struggle is.
And that's why if you see, for me, I always follow example of those filmmakers who actually made a difference. In the sense, they still continuously, like whether it's a David O. Russell, whether it's a Scorsese, they're all indie filmmakers. They're consistently making film. The nature and the philosophy and the organicness of the film doesn't change. And Nolan will make an Inception. Even if he has a DiCaprio. But he's the same guy. He's doing his film. Now he's doing it with stars in the studios. And for me, that's the system that I would rather follow. I'm doing my kind of film. I don't change my style of shooting a movie or making a film. If I have somebody in it, the film will dictate how it's being shot.
But in terms of finding a new audience, did you ever consider television, given that television has a far bigger audience?
But see, television today faces a big challenge from the internet.
Yeah, of course.
Tomorrow, the same thing. People will watch what they want to watch on the internet. Yeah. They would ignore the TV. The TV has to go the internet way. It will be directly streamed through internet after a while.
No, it's because it's interesting, because if you look at all these debates in the 70s, 80s, all this, it was always like the TV was considered almost like ki a film star is, the TV is too beneath a film star. But now it's almost like a symbiotic relationship where I know कि अच्छा अगले महीने ये film release होनी है तो ये 10 show पे तो film star ने आना ही है, and it's almost like a replay of that, and you can't live without.
It's the same shit on every channel, right? You have like 2 movie stars on the every channel. When are we seeing you on like a Jhalak Dikhla Ja?
For ugly.
I'll be on Big Boss when my career is over. I'll be on Jhalak trying to dance.
You'll be interesting on Big Boss because you'll be directing the CCTV cameras saying इसको यहाँ पे लगाया. I saw it was very interesting that a lot of people asked you this in your AMA, that a lot of people asked you for your choice whether you'd vote for Rahul Gandhi or Narendra Modi, right? Now, when you are in a situation like that, you're an influential filmmaker.
We are in a terrible place. I'm saying you make either choice, there's a problem. You make either choice, there's a problem.
Yeah,
Please,
right?
okay, weigh your next words very carefully.
Carefully, yeah.
Because people online go crazy about this shit.
I know,
No matter which side you take, they will.
Yeah, but for me, there's one choice that you make. You're going towards a person who is kind of a fascist in a way, and you don't know where that will go because that is more uncertain.
Yeah.
That is more uncertain, and that will only happen when that person comes in and he starts to dictate his terms, because he's actually, there's a complete lack of empathy in that person. And there's an emotional void in that person because there's no personal relationship.
And that person comes with an army of
insane devout. And the other person has absolutely no experience, no mind of his own.
Yeah.
So
I wonder which one is who. Thank you for making it so vague.
And the scenario with that is, definitely you're going to go down. But going down has an advantage that there's a bottom. And from the bottom you will come up.
You mean we are not at the bottom right now?
No, we are probably an inch away from the bottom. But the thing is, there's rock bottom, you always come up. So my thing is, they are both equally bad choices.
So let's try and see if we can survive.
My problem is, what do you do? I don't know. There's no option.
Do you have like one issue you vote on? Say for example, I was having this conversation with a couple of my friends who work on like internet policy and all. Okay, they said, look, I'm not going to vote for the Congress only because they made a fucked up internet policy. I'm not going to look at anything else. I will vote on.
I'm telling you.
So can you do this on like who will reduce taxes on film?
No, it is not that. I'll tell you. After the next elections, India and whatever happens in India for next 10 years will be part of history, man. Because people will study us how we fucked up so bad. So I'm saying, let's experience that. We've experienced a comparatively safer world than the other people.
Anurag at the 2 different Congress and BJP offices like, look, Mr. Modi, I'm planning to make no smoking too. If we can cut a deal right now, my vote for you is assured.
But it's like on one level, it's also interesting. In fact, I was listening to a Simon Pegg interview in the morning where he was talking about his experience with Star Wars, saying how back in the day, all these films were dark and broody, and suddenly you had this blonde boy in a pajama who was giving a sign of hope. So you were like, fuck yeah. So it's also interesting from the point of view, if you have 10 years of something like this, which is going to be so fucked up, what is the kind of content
cinema that will be produced?
Though I don't know if in India, do you feel there is that much of a connect in terms of what a crowd
Prakash Jha has been making this kind of cinema for the last 10 years. How can you make such a statement?
Did you watch Satyagraha?
No, not yet.
I had that moment where I don't know if I spoiler alert kar dun, or are you dying to watch it?
We can make a spoiler alert.
Okay, so Amitabh Bachchan plays Anna Hazare, right? So
interesting.
So he gets shot in the film, and in my head, all I'm thinking of is Arvind Kejriwal he went to see the film. He must be thinking, damn, agar ye 2 saal pehle ho jata, I would have been chief minister. It was so bizarre.
But this, I think our country is bizarre. You get what you deserve and you get what you create. Our country reacts like that. When a rape happens, everybody's out like, hang the rapist. Then they forget about it. Another rape happens.
Yeah,
then they're like, iska judgment aisa hona chahiye. Then they ask for a capital punishment. It's always like a group voice. There's no rational discussion I see ever. And when anti-corruption thing started, everybody was out on the streets. Next day, probably after that, they were again paying rishwat to the traffic police guys, breaking rules, doing everything.
This must happen to you a lot, no? People must be asking you to like join movements, this, that.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. For me, I have a big problem with anybody who resorts to rhetoric. And everybody often does. In any case. There's no objectivity. Even like till date, I get ragged about and people talk me about why would you defend Yo-Yo Honey Singh?
Yeah,
people
that's
ask
the whole thing.
All that. My thing is, boss, hello, I'm sorry. I'm defending a person's right to be, and it's because we endorse him so much. Everybody who will say everything against him will be the same guys dancing to lungi dance.
Yeah. It's like I said yesterday, right? So I was in my car and I was trying to get to my house, and there was psycho procession outside my house, and this is like we're listening like all your Rajini fan going crazy, right? And I'm like, it's the same thing if you put 4 walls around this procession, put a disco light, and then suddenly it's against Indian culture. Like it's almost.
No, I'm saying you just take the voice away. You record a video with people, the Ganpati procession, and reduce the sound and create it with slogans. Anti-corruption, it's always the same.
It does sound the same. Yeah.
It is. We are living in bizarre times. And it's very strange.
Do you feel almost as if you want to immerse yourself in a situation just to see what kind of fucked up shit you will think about? Like,
I've become indifferent. Honestly speaking, I've actually become very indifferent. I like to read. I like to travel. I like to make films. I've actually stopped seeing myself as like, कि मुझे इसमें participate करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, because what is going to happen will happen. My thing is, I need to understand what is my role and what I can do. I can't change the world.
So there's no idealism.
There's no idealism. Is gone for a toss. It's in my dustbin right now. I crush it every day.
In my head, it's just, I'm trying to imagine you at that anti-corruption rally where Kiran Bedi started dancing. In my head, I'm just like, that would blow people's minds.
No, I don't like to be part of any rally. It doesn't make a difference. What makes a difference is you change your mindset. You have to address the basic issues which are so visible. Our repression, our morality, our education. That's a basic issue in this country, which nobody wants to address it because it's convenient.
But you don't have those moments that I as a filmmaker can do something about this through like public service announcement.
The day I can change my own life, I'll think about changing the world. But I can't sort my knee problem out. I swim every day. I have to figure out how to control my hunger. When I see anybody making mutton, I'm like, I have to have it. However much restraint I'm under.
Very basic issues.
Like Tanmay is like exactly like you.
So for me, it's like, it's very simple. I have to first change my own life. If I can change my own life, I'll think about changing. I can't. I don't have those ideas.
I can't even imagine how many people listening to this whose dreams you have crushed. All these young filmmakers who are like, damn it, there is no idealism. What do I do now? When Bombay Talkies came out, so everybody was in that state where, hey, 4 filmmakers, it was Dibakar versus, it became a versus, no, instead of celebrating 100 years.
My favorite part about it, you must have seen the picture where your hand is on, I think, Dibakar's ass or whose ass was it? Karan's ass. This is spectacular.
But that was that annoying after a point where everybody kept asking, hey, how's it with Karan Johar, polar opposite and this and that, and do you get along? It's almost like you're going to shoot him or something.
I discovered Karan, and this is like first time I'm saying this, in a very different way. I genuinely felt Karan does what I do. What I do on a smaller level from a cottage, like helping a kind of filmmakers, Karan does on a bigger scale.
I would love to see your version of Student of the Year.
No. I'm not talking about as individual filmmakers. See, as an individual filmmaker, Karan is coming from a certain place.
Yeah, of course.
He's coming from a certain place. He's not lived the life I've lived.
I entirely agree, actually. That's he gets...
So, in the sense, if you look at a whole lot of filmmakers who are second or third generation filmmakers, if you see their films are of a similar nature, their approach to cinema is similar. Whereas, if you see out of them, Zoya stands out because she's more organic. She looks at South Bombay. That's her milieu. But from a outside film industry perspective, other people are grown up in the film industry. He has a disadvantage, Karan, of not having lived my life. Like, I have a disadvantage of not having the support system that Karan has. So I have to build my support system myself. That's my burden that I have to carry. His burden to carry is that he has to try and live that life. Like, I shoot on the streets. Karan also shoots on the streets. But Karan he can't shoot on the streets of India, so he shoots on the streets of New York. It's if you look at it, it is, मैं वो सड़क पे जाके वो सूट पहन के बॉम्बे टॉकीज का फिल्म शूट करने चला गया था, वहाँ भीड़ हो गई थी और लड़ाई हो गई थी और उसको भागना पड़ा था बिकॉज लोग उसको मारना चाहते थे. बिकॉज आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट स्ट्रीट. आई कैन शूट ऑन एनी स्ट्रीट. आई हैव डिफिकल्टी शूटिंग ऑन अ सेट. लाइक व्हेन आई वाज शूटिंग बॉम्बे वेट, आई एम लाइक, हाउ डू आई शूट? एवरीथिंग इज अंडर कंट्रोल. I had to create chaos. I created chaos and I shot with hidden cameras after organizing a live on the set. So if you see the footage, you look like, it doesn't look like a set. It's like I'm on the streets and I'm shooting again the Black Friday style with hidden cameras.
In India, nobody's been roasted because I don't think anybody is courageous enough to do a full all-out roast.
Yeah.
B, I think we don't have the tact to not go into.
But I've been roasted in the comedy club in London because I was sitting in the front row, just like that. It was so much fun.
Really? By some what? Firan comic?
Yeah.
Not.
Completely rape you.
Yeah.
It's good fun though.
We don't have that culture here.
No, we don't.
We don't have that. In fact,
we don't have. We are the country जहाँ पे award function में भी लोग politically correct होकर roast करते हैं. I remember कौन सा award function I met Tanmay and he said he's written the lines. I thought it's going to be funny. It wasn't funny.
It cannot be funny. I remember writing.
And I looked at him and he was. Remember, I was meeting him on the way and I'm like, what the fuck is this going on? And he was like, boss, you can't really do anything that you want.
But you can't. I remember writing lines for ex-hosts that were there. I remember night before, after all the cutting and chopping and all the cross-dressing that was shoved into the script halfway through, like physically the stars who were anchoring, they had to call everyone a night before and tell them that, look, tomorrow there's going to be this really super polite joke about you and blah, 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 blah. No one can take a fucking joke properly, and it's funny because everybody laughs at it. Every time I make a joke about a Bollywood celebrity on Twitter, I get like 3 DMs from random actors who are following me saying, ha ha ha, that was really funny, but I can't retweet it or say ha 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 because I don't know who I'll piss off and what camp will get mad at me or if I even lose work. In fact, one of my friends is an actor and a comedian. He actually told me that he's a very popular comedian. He said that he actually lost movies because he made some jokes on stage, etc., etc. Which is why I don't think we ever have a career in Bollywood. It's not possible. Why don't we have a sense of humor about?
No, but now, say for example, okay, let me ask you this. Last year also at Ghantas, I believe you were supposed to come. I was also on the.
I was stuck in the flight.
But for example, for that one, I remember because I was one of the 5 comics who were doing that. And at that time, then Sonam came for that show, and she accepted the award.
Yeah, and she got massive like brownie points.
She got massive brownie points, but even here the debate was split, no? Because half the people are like, yeah, credibility, and the other half is like, arey, PR stunt, usko pata hai, she wants to win over the young crowd. So in my end, it's also like, you can never really win.
It is
you can never win.
It is really both, but the thing is, there's some people who can take jokes, yeah. It's like when I was doing Cutiapa, I just made sure like who I can crack a joke on. So I could involve Imtiaz and Karan and Shirohit because I know with them I can. I had to ask them to cut out other people's name because they wouldn't be able to take a joke.
But you know, this is interesting. Maybe we'll edit this out of the conversation. But say for example, they did Viral Fever guys did a sketch on Rohit Shetty called Lage Raho Shetty Bhai, where so it's a very funny concept where it's Lage Raho Munna Bhai, except instead of Gandhi, Newton comes and says, "Tumhe physics
I've seen that.
And so those guys got bumbled. They got.
No, I'll tell you, I know that because I gave their number to Rohit. It's not bumbled. Rohit didn't expect because they involved emotionally in the sense like, you know, बच्चे का tattoo, the kid started reacting.
Oh, बच्चे का tattoo.
So which is why Rohit after that allowed, they have not deleted anything though except the tattoo.
Oh, okay.
If you see, they have only taken out the tattoo. He says you make fun of me.
Yeah.
And Rohit thing was मेरे को बुलाते हैं मैं खुद एक्टिंग करता. So it's not like that.
Okay.
Rohit, the only thing is don't involve my family. Keep that away.
Sure.
Which is fair.
Which is very fair.
Which
Which is very fair.
Which is 100%.
Because that won't nobody will understand.
Yeah.
See, I should also write one Rohit Shetty sketch. No?
So with Rohit, Rohit you can actually go to Rohit and tell him that let's make fun of you, and he'll participate in it.
Yeah.
He's like that. He's a great guy.
While swimming in his piles of cash, he said, "I'll come."
Every time somebody says Rohit Shetty, it reminds me of the DuckTales comedy. I don't know.
See, which way I see, it's like, some people Rohit Shetty is unlike a lot of other probably guys. I've known him from his struggle days. He's not that guy. He knows what sells, and he's a clarity. He is not trying to be me or anybody else.
But that is
he wants to make fun.
Yeah.
He's very.
But this is something that I find very prevalent in Bollywood, where you meet a lot of the people who work in the industry, and you realize that this actor, he's a smart. He likes the same things that I do.
It is very. You have to understand. At the end of the day, most people are making a living. They're not. If I am cinema crazy, it's my business. It's not somebody else's business. So I have to tend to myself. I have to deal with the consequences. I keep telling everybody, you can't come and make a film and say, किसी को समझ नहीं आता, सब लोग चूतिया है. You have to deal with the consequences because you're making a certain kind of a film. You want people's appreciation, then you do what people like. Or you give them something on that. And since you can't do something and say that consequences are not for me to deal with. Look at that guy, what's his name? MF Hussain. He put in his own money to make the films that he wanted to make. And he made what he wanted to make. And he dealt with it. I'm saying that's a sign of an artist. They deal with the consequences. Look at this guy who made Upstream Color. Made the film, distributed himself happily. He'll spend next 5 years to make another film his own way. He's not wanting to have a lifestyle like a Michael Bay. So it is that Michael Bay wants that. Michael Bay likes that.
But this is a question. I was watching the Anupama Chopra episode. She asked Irfan this, saying that if something like if Chennai Express is your country's biggest hit, does that disappoint you as an artist? So he said, yeah, on some level, I guess it does, because it's a film which it's not exactly the smartest film, even though it has no pretensions about what it is.
You have
but
to
then
understand.
That's an audience thing.
Your smartest choice will never become the Prime Minister of this country.
No.
Your smartest choice will never lead anything. So you have to understand. In a country, 80% people are below that smart IQ level. 80 to 85% people are below that smart IQ level. That does not mean they don't have a right to exist.
Of course.
That does not mean that they don't have a right to choose.
Of course.
So I'm saying you make a very smart film, it will not be as successful. You have to decide, you want a very successful film? The two examples are me and my brother here.
Yeah.
I chose a certain kind of a film to make, and I'll make it within that range. Right? If I'm making a Bombay Velvet, I know it costs a lot. I cannot put an A certificate on the film. I have to do away with the galis. It is a rational thing. I can't be say, मैं बनाऊंगा 100 करोड़ की पिक्चर और उसमें मैं गालियां भी डालूंगा और मैं सेक्स भी डालूंगा और मैं वो भी डालूंगा ताकि कोई देखने ना आए.
Are you worried that your core fans will come for Bombay Velvet and not get what they want?
They will get more than what they want. I think this is the best film that I've done in my life.
Really?
Yeah. You can watch it right after. Everybody's been seeing it. Every day there's screenings going on of the first schedule. But the thing is like, it is my film. It's a film in my grain, my nature. It doesn't have, मतलब जरूरी था ना कि हर फिल्म में गाली हो. जरूरी था ना कि हर फिल्म में वो. But it's a certain kind of a film which I think is going to reach out on a much more bigger level. But it is the fans which become your worst enemies after a while. It's very simple. It's
on some day.
It's not on my level. It's very small. Imagine a Shah Rukh Khan level.
Yeah.
Everybody who went crazy when Shah Rukh opened his arms are the same people. They say, "Arey, kab tak karega ye?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is the fans and their expectations that you start catering to. That's why I don't want to cater to fans' expectations. I would rather have my fans be disappointed and have newer fans. But hota hai, they also come around. They come around. They see that what you're trying. I would rather have a reputation that people want to see. Let's see what he does next. That's the only reputation which is worthwhile. If they're like, okay, इस बार कुछ वासेपुर type कर दे तो वो बहुत dangerous है वो. I don't want that audience. That's why after Devdi, I had to make a yellow boots. I was fought with the whole world. They said, Devdi बात तू जो चाहे कर सकता है. I said, I have to make yellow boots. Because then it's a cycle. And I've seen a lot of people go through that cycle. Very intelligent filmmakers go through that cycle. They find a formula and they start repeating that formula again and again and again. And they don't realize when they become redundant.
But
I think you're a comic. You know what kind of joke people laugh at the most.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want
And then you end subconsciously also you start playing with the audience. You know, यहाँ पे अगर मैं अभी ऐसा बोल दूँगा punchline सब हंसेंगे. And you start playing to that inner impulse, and that is what starts to kill you slowly. Because after 5 years you'll become repetitive. You have to constantly deal with things around you.
that Shah Rukh thing reminded me of the Hrithik Roshan scene from Luck by Chance, where it's like this Zafar Khan is an image, and people don't want that image to change. By the way, are you going to act again? That was, by the way, one of my favorite moments ever to see Anurag randomly
Depends.
pop
I'm
up
going
in
to.
Luck by Chance.
I'm acting in another movie. I'm acting in a movie. It's a very strange movie. When it'll come out, you will see.
अब for some strange reason हमारे टीवी वालों को कीड़ा है कि हर 3 साल में कोई महाभारत अटेम्प्ट करता है and it ruins it and B.R. Chopra is still by far the best and I still have the most emotional resonance to it because even तब पूरा शहर बंद हो जाता था.
But what, see, it's always you form your opinions and ideas when you're impressionable.
Yes.
You're not impressionable anymore.
Anymore.
ठीक है?
That's
So
true.
for you, it will always be that.
Yeah. But in
It's
my
like always your new audience is the youngest audience. My audience for Black Friday will never see my films the same way after Black Friday. So I'll have a new younger audience with Devdi. There's furthermore new younger audience with Wasepur. There'll be very few that will like everything. Very few.
No, in my head, what I was thinking was that if have you ever tried? You know, a lot of people say this that why does India have to look abroad for stories when we have so much rich mythology here and stuff like that? Have you ever, like in my head, I was thinking, have you thought, okay, let me make the Mahabharat my way? Like in my head,
No, it
if
keeps coming.
Anurag makes Mahabharat, would be mind blowing. Like I don't know why.
It keeps coming up.
Yeah.
It keeps coming up from various people pitching at you. And I've been pitched like to Mahabharat your way. I said, what is my way?
गाली दो सर.
रैंडम नए एक्टर के साथ स्ट्रीट में जो बदसूरत दिखते हैं. मैंने कहा that's the perception of somebody के I cast बदसूरत people. So that's also how you deal with. Well, I got a very funny mail from an actor saying that, sir, मेरा potential आप ही देख सकते हो. And my one question is like, आपको ऐसा क्यों लगता है? इसे सर क्योंकि मैं बहुत काला हूँ. So. And the worst that I got was one person who hung around my office for 7 days, and I would ignore him and come in, and because then my office people got emotional. He says, "Sir, please meet him. बेचारा गांव से आया है, सीधा यहीं आया है और हिल नहीं रहा है, ना खा रहा है, ना पी रहा है, यहीं बैठा हुआ है." So I said, "Okay, I'll meet him." I went to meet him. I said, "क्या हो गया?" बोलते, "सर यहीं काम करना है." मैंने कहा, "लेकिन यहाँ जगह नहीं है, मैं चाय बनाऊँगा, मैं चाय बनाने के लिए 3 लोग हैं, तो सर आप कुछ भी करिए, मुझे यहीं रखिए." मैंने कहा, "लेकिन ऐसा क्यों, तू और कहीं काम कर लेना." जैसे सर आपको पता नहीं, मैं भी आपकी तरह मेंटली डिस्टर्ब्ड और साइको हूँ. So that was his pitch to me. Now imagine
Hilarious.
what your perception is, how the world thinks about you.
This whole one half of the media, Anurag Kashyap, intellectual filmmaker. Like, sir, मैं भी gone case हूँ और आप भी gone case हो. I think we'd go well together.
But genuinely, like mentally disturbed, I had to tell my watchman, यार इधर दिखना नहीं चाहिए.
But you keep seeing these crazy cases in and around, right? Like I remember Shahid Kapoor stays very close by, and one of my friends used to stay there. I used to go to his building, and I keep hearing these crazy stories. Like, woman from Russia came for 30 days with a suitcase, camped outside, like, and just read bizarre stories. Like, in fact, you made one of these stories, right? In Bombay Talkies.
Fan culture, yeah. Fan
It's a
culture
little
that way in India
ridiculous.
is a little scary.
It is scary.
Like you've not had those kind of like.
I have people who come from my hometown or somebody else, and they have to. But in the sense, one guy will come and he'll keep saying the name of the sir, Anpara, sir Mirzapur, sir Gorakhpur. Like to half the world thinks I come from Gorakhpur because I was born there. Well, I don't even have no single memories of Gorakhpur. But one guy just like that, I was standing at Pithi, one guy whispered in my ear, sir Bablu Gorakhpur. And I turned and looked at him, and then immediately his arm was around a girl, No, this guy was around 40. This girl was around 20-year-old, and I'm around her. And I'm saying, हमने कहा था ना हमारे सर गोरखपुर के हैं. सर इनसे मिलिए. मुझे तो पहचान गए ना आप. Before that, he's whispered in my ear, Bablu Gorakhpur. I'm like, I said, where do they come from?
Okay, Anurag, thank you very much for doing this. Hopefully, we get to do this again.
Yes.
You want to say bye to everyone? Just say bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening. See you guys next time.
Blue on the mic.
See you guys. Thank you very much for listening. This was episode 21 on All India Bakchod. If people on Android phones, you can get an app called IndiaCast.
Yes.
Which has a lot of the Indian podcasts on it. But fuck those guys. Listen to us.
Yeah.
We are on IndiaCast. People on iPhones, we're working on our own app. Again, allindiabakchod.com is going to go live once again with a new site. Check out our YouTube channel. We've launched a new sketch show.
Which is called which is on youtube.com/allindiabakchod.
Get our t-shirts. Bing Gandu and Fuck Off Bro still on Red Wolf Rotten. What else? Is there anything else?
No, I think we've pimped our whole life. I think.
Yes, that's it. And in general, please love us. See you guys next time. Cue music.